last night in the back room of a salon where they're getting their hair done. An elite group of analysts, bad boys, and people who can rattle off everyone who ever won Mr. Basketball USA. Will Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, Kareem, Lou Alcindor then. Patrick Ewing did it, Chris Webber, Tracy McGrady, Kevin Garnett, wow. LeBron did it twice, and Isaiah Stewart. 2019. I'm saying, it's true. It's quite a list. Okay?
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Double check that.
It doesn't need to be double checked.
That's really an unbelievable thing.
It
Yes,
really is.
LeBron won it twice.
On Toilet Burn the Midnight Oil to deliver the best segment in all of sports. It's not USA Today's power ranking or the standings,
No, it's
we
not.
hope. It's time for NBA Tiers.
It is. Listen, the committee took it to heart. What was
It was the
the
standings
committee?
last
It was.
Yeah, big time.
Brew. Coincidentally, sadly, the top of the tiers did look far too much like the standings. Now, the committee would ask that you trust our multi-year, multi-sport body of work to believe that was just a coincidence, but this week we made double sure, like, hey, it's not going to look too, and so we're in good
Did it
shape.
affect your editorial judgment?
Not at all. We were fine, but we just wanted to make sure.
It stung.
Sadly,
It stung.
well, you know what? It
clearly
did.
stung.
It did. Sadly, a new team has been eliminated. So if we may show the eliminations tier, the Spurs had to go. They really could have gone once
They were on for so
well,
long.
because their
Yeah,
record
once
was
Wemby was
fine,
right.
but and these other teams. And by the way, the Wizards. I'm not blaming Kyle Kuzma, but since trading Kyle Kuzma, they're fine. They're 6-4.
They better be careful.
I know.
They don't wanna win
Don't
too
want to win.
much.
Exactly right. All right, so those teams are eliminated. Sorry, Adam Silver, bottom of the tiers. Let's skip the play-in.
Yeah.
It is very clear who the 8 best teams in both conferences are. And listen, you guys know how much I like lighting the beam. And they're a better than usual 9 seed. But they don't need to steal a playoff spot from the Clippers or the Warriors or the Timberwolves or whomever. And the Suns and Mavs are just having the saddest year ever. Both of them. And they're still alive. We probably don't need a play-in. Go ahead.
Can I say something about the
Please.
play?
Yeah,
It's
I'd love
odd because it is great for drama, toward
Yes.
the end of the regular season. Like, oh, who's going to get in? And teams,
Yeah.
maybe teams fighting for it. Some might not want to be in it. But it's bad, like the actual play-in itself. Because if one of these teams does
Steals.
knock out
Yes.
one of the top 7, 8 seeds, it's not going
It's
to
a
be
bummer,
good. So
and right, and it feels like there's less stakes because there would be a real oh man, that the Warriors, great win for them yesterday because they could fall out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So there's that.
You'd hate if they
right.
or Minnesota
Right.
get bounced.
Wouldn't you
in
want
the
the Sun?
play-in.
Don't you want to see Durant in?
So no,
They're not
Not this year.
I don't want to see Minnesota or Golden State
They
potentially out of
Right.
the playoffs. That's the problem.
Listen, the play-in's new. This next tier's a little more controversial. Skip round 1.
Wow.
This is just for listen. Let's just give Boston and Cleveland buys. Cleveland's going 65 games. Boston's defending champs. Sorry, Atlanta and Orlando. We really don't need you. Maybe let them play a best-of-7 between the two of them and let Boston and Cleveland hang out. All right, now to the actual teams, real playoff teams. Stuck in neutral. Pacers, Clippers. Now, I know the Pacers made conference finals last year, so this is probably actually a step back. But my point is, these two teams feel around the same. They're good. You know what I mean? They're going to win in the mid-40s. They're fine. Not a real threat. It's kind of how we have felt about them last couple years. Very differently than this tier. Awesome stories and seasons. The Rockets and the Pistons, man. For the Rockets to right now, this moment, be tied for the 2 seed in the West. For the Pistons to have a legitimate shot at home court advantage in round 1, when a year ago they were the worst team in the league, second worst team in the league. They have real building blocks. They have real talented young players. They are going to be a pain in the butt for somebody in round 1. And in the Pistons' case, or maybe Rockets as well, potentially round 2, depending on how it falls. But no, even if they both get gentlemen swept in round 1, it's an awesome season and an awesome story. Got to get hot and lucky. And by that I mean they need to be playing their best basketball and need the team they're playing round 2 or later to have an untimely injury. Like, we don't root for that, but, like, that's going to happen in the playoffs this year. It's like, this guy's out for 2 weeks with a sprained ankle. That's the only chance either one of these teams, in my eyes, and the committee's eyes, have of making a conference finals out east. Quietly lurking, I'm not writing either one of these teams off.
Yeah.
Grizzlies or Timberwolves. Ants playing great. They're figuring it out with Julius Randle. Last dozen games or so, they've been really good when he's played. And Memphis, I told you, I don't want to overreact to single moments, but Ja trying to have the dunk of the decade after starting the year like, I'm done dunking. And not like healthy Ja. Brew probably thinks I slightly overrate Triple J, but you guys know how much I like Triple J. Bane's a good player. Like, those teams are quietly lurking. Off-season partners, question mark. Here's what I mean. I love the Nuggets starting 5 and really nothing else about the team. I really like the Warriors' true depth, but feel like they're 2 starters short. Like, they've got a great top 3 guys, and then they have 7 guys who could be in a rotation. So, like, I don't know, Michael Porter Jr. to Golden State for some depth pieces for Denver might be the type of thing that makes both teams better. I think the Warriors need one more impact guy, and the Nuggets need more rotation available players. So just an idea, but that's where they both are. Quiet regression. So I know it's just a 2-game losing streak, but when you look at the Cavs a little deeper, it's like, oh wait, they were down 30 immediately to Boston. They did need, they had, I wrote it down now, I don't have it in front of me. 3 of their last 5 wins were kind of skin of their teeth against mediocre teams. Now, part of that is they've locked up the 1 seed. Part of that might also be, right, and Donovan was out. Part of that might also be they were on are they going to win 70 games?
Yeah.
Pace.
Right.
So they had room for regression, and it's not significant, but just a quiet little regression. The scariest team. The Lakers are, with Luka, LeBron, all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but for now 2.5 months, elite defense and a head coach that is really juggling the rotation well.
Yeah.
The scariest team that you could see warming up across the court from you in round 1, because you are going to see Luka, you are going to see LeBron, and all of a sudden, Austin Reeves, there's a lot of people are coming around. This is not a bad third option. So they're the scariest team. Boston, however, is the deepest team. This is a point Wild's been making, and he's right. Like, hey, 11th guy off the bench, we're going to give you 20 minutes tonight, which means you're going to get 10 wide open threes.
Bang.
You might score 20 yourself. And so they can deal with, not only do they have an excellent starting 5 and really a great top 6, but they can deal with a guy missing a whole series, potentially, as long as really it's not Jason Tatum, and be fine because of the depth they have. And that leaves just one team left, the best team. And that is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Doesn't mean they're going to win the championship. But by any fair metric, they now have the best record, thanks to the Cavs' little 2-game losing streak. Their point differential, the fact that they are super elite offensively, even more elite defensively. They have the league MVP. They have a sick home court advantage because it's kind of like a college atmosphere in Oklahoma City. They are the best team, and that is this week's tiers.
Well done. Much better than last
yeah.
Thank you, bro.
standings. Good bounce back. I'm going to move the Timberwolves up, though.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to put them on the same tier as Golden State and Denver.
Oh, a 3-way trade.
Yeah,
Off-season.
I'm just going to move. I'm going to move them up there because I do think they're on that level, and they're playing great. They've won 8. They're 18-9 over the last 2 months. Their defense, which has always been like top 10ish, but it's been in the top 6 at that, or top 7 defensively, top 6 offensively. Defensively, they've got some very good perimeter defenders. Obviously, they got Rudy Gobert at the rim, so they got rim protection. Offensively, they shoot the 3 well. They have the dynamic Anthony Edwards, who shoots a ton of threes himself, but he actually shoots it well.
Really?
And yeah, he can get to the rim. So And like you said, they've worked in Julius Randle. This is probably what they envisioned when they made this trade. And the interesting thing about them is they play well against Oklahoma City. The last 2 years, they're 4-4 against OKC. So that would be a real interesting matchup should it come to that. And Denver, they own. They have won 5 straight games against the Nuggets, including the last 2 in the playoffs last year. And so that, they're a tough matchup for the Nuggets. And Anthony Edwards he's played well all year, but really stepped it up the last few months, averaging about 30 points a game over the last 3 months. So I think Minnesota is starting to click at the right time, and I definitely put them right there with the Warriors and the Nuggets.
Yeah, they don't, because the Warriors and the Nuggets have a real championship pedigree, because I agree their resumes right now are very similar and how well they're playing. They're actually, of the 3 groups, of the 3 teams, they're playing the best as of late. I give the Warriors and Nuggets a slight nod, but listen, I don't think Minnesota should be dismissed. And just like I don't think Memphis should be dismissed, especially because if Ja can be healthy for the whole playoffs, that it's a different team than the one they've had where Ja's played basically half the game.
No, that's fair.
Go ahead, KW.
You were complimentary to the Rockets. What to say? Awesome stories and seasons. I'd like to move them up to at least quietly lurking, if not higher.
Okay.
So here's the thing, Brew. What?
No.
They're literally in second place.
Oh, but what did see that?
Well, I'm just saying
You're
they
like
are.
a goldfish.
Well, does the season matter or not?
But you just mocked me. That's what I'm saying. You're like a goldfish.
I don't do the whole segment.
You mocked me the whole time in the intro.
I'm not saying
for last week's being too similar to the standings, and now the bar says the Rockets, because of where they are in the standings.
It's called an overcorrection.
Okay.
Okay, you're doing too much. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th. They're in second place.
Well, they're in
the only team above them is on a historic pace.
Okay, but
if the Thunder had never got an expansion team, they'd be in first place. Brew, what's the one issue with the Rockets? And I think it's slightly
youth.
There's 2 issues.
And inexperience.
I'll say the
okay. I'll say youth.
Yeah,
okay?
and that they don't have a superstar.
Oh, wait till my third graphic.
Okay.
Okay. So the youth is an issue, and I understand that the Lakers are a brand new team since Luka got there. Let's look at, because I'm not going to do old Lakers. I'll do the Lakers as they are since Luka got there. Okay. The Lakers are 11-6, and they are the most dangerous team you've ever seen in your life. The Rockets, who are just a nice story. It's like they're a nice story you tell your kids before you go to bed. And then Şengün played great. Are 11-5. So basically the same record. Offensive rating, that you said they're the scariest team in the world. The Rockets have a better offensive rating. Defensive rating, J.J. Redick's been up sleepless nights getting this great defense. Ime's like, yeah, I've been doing this since I was with the Celtics. Basically have the same defensive rating. Like, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. LeBron's been out.
Go ahead.
Why is LeBron out? Because he's 40 years old. That has to be part of the equation. So this is what I'm saying, why I think this is a fair graphic. If we're going to bang on the Rockets' youth, well, guess what? When you're young, your groin reacts a little bit better. So I am just as much as we say that the Rockets are young, I want to give them the benefit of being young and perhaps healthier when we come to the playoffs from some of these older teams. Fair?
Okay, maybe.
Fair?
That's a good point. I mean, they are, Nick hit it on the head. It's a great season for them. It's a great, even if they get beaten 5 in the first round, it's a great season.
That would not, I think he would be furious.
He would, and that would be good for them going next season. I have absolutely no fear whatsoever. There is not a fiber in my being that thinks the Rockets could come out of the West.
I struggle to find the team other than the Clippers who I would pick them to beat in round 1.
I don't doubt that you guys doubt them.
No, but
it's not a spirit of Halloween. The fear is not the
I understand, but it's got to be.
You think they have a legit chance to get to the conference finals?
Well, have you ever heard defense wins championships? How do they play defense? Because if they were like crushing offensively, like, you know what? In the playoffs, it goes a little bit differently. I give all great, same with Memphis, all great defensive teams that it's Ime's pedigree. You lead the league in rebounding.
Yes.
I think this stuff travels no matter who you play. And I know there's no superstar. I do like a little bit of, hey, who's going to have 30 tonight?
And their
I like
potential
that.
superstar, like Jalen could be a superstar.
You can see
eventually.
3 superstars.
Sengun is
Who's
a
the
star.
third?
He's becoming a star. Amen.
Oh, Amin. Yeah.
Jalen
I mean,
they got-
I think
got some
Amin eventually is going to be their best player. I just thought you were saying for this postseason. Amin's
No, but
not,
he could-
yeah,
but he-
no, but eventually.
But
yeah.
if I say, hey, someone scored 30 for the Rockets, it's not, you'll be like, oh, which guy was
Who
it?
would it
No,
be?
that's
You're
fair.
right.
Second in the league in 61.
Yeah. So
Sengun is-
So here's all right. So a couple. I want to address one Rockets thing, then I want to do a Lakers thing real quick. Here's a Rockets thing. All the games count. Nobody's denying that. That awesome Sengun putback, the one that we showed the other day,
Yeah.
force overtime. It was a great play. Missed free throw, got it.
Sure.
If that isn't executed, they're in fifth. And the reason I say that is when literally second through fifth, you can go from second to fifth off a putback against, who are they playing? It was a bad team.
Yeah.
It was Sixers, right?
Yes.
It was against Philly. I am going to put even less weight on your actual this moment place in the standings because
That could change tomorrow.
not only change, but you could drop from
Right.
you have the 2 seed to you're on the road in game 1, and
Yeah,
so it's
that's
that.
why we
that
do it every
close.
week.
Agreed.
If it was a monthly segment,
No,
if we were a magazine.
I understand. But here's the other thing that I really want to, if we can have a couple extra minutes to us, dig in on. Because Wilds wasn't on camera when I had the Lakers, third on the tiers, when I said the scariest team. But if he was on camera, what you would have seen is a very deep eye roll and silent sigh. So here is an honest question. Why, what is the genesis or reason for your more than healthy skepticism that the Lakers are a contender?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Thanks.
I refuse to be wrong twice. Okay? I'll be wrong once,
You're wrong
but I'm
4 or
not
5
going to be
times
wrong
a show.
twice on the same issue. This is a true story. You asked for the answer,
Yeah.
so just let me go because you're going to be furious.
Oh, I can't wait.
I was watching some game last year. Jackson Hayes gets subbed into the game. Jackson Hayes immediately was grabbing
2 years ago.
grabbing-
It wasn't last year.
Exactly, 2
Go
years
ahead.
ago.
2 years ago.
grabbing rebounds, put back dunks. He very quickly was an impact player. I said, whew, no one's talking about this guy. He's not that good. My type of guy. My type of guy to root for.
Yeah.
Then we talked about the Lakers, and at the end of the segment, I snuck in, you know who I think is good? Jackson Hayes. And I got killed. You're like, Jackson Hayes is not...
Can't be a part of a
can't
playoff
be a
rotation.
play. 2 years later. So I'm like, you know what? That's a good point. Playoffs came. I think he did get some time, and it was
a
very quick, like,
disaster.
get him out of there. I was like, you know what? Great call by you. You're right. Fast forward to the Luka trade. The Celtics beat the Lakers. In my mentions, we didn't have Jackson Hayes. And I was like, they're the scariest team, Jackson Hayes. All Jackson Hayes needs to do is catch lobs from Luka. All of a sudden, Jackson Hayes is great. I sold all my Jackson Hayes stock because you told me it was going to zero.
Okay, so two things. One is, if the entirety of your Lakers skepticism is based on how good or not good Jackson Hayes is, I think that's misplaced.
And Luka can't dunk. I'm not sure if Luka can touch the rim.
Secondarily is this. Much like certain young players, oddly, get worse, evidently, as they get older, a la your guy Isaiah Stewart, who went from the best player in the country to a role player.
Oh, he's great.
I thought,
In high school, he was great.
No, but Jackson Hayes, I totally believe, and I think you ended up believing 2 years ago, was not a guy who could play playoff minutes, but a guy who was drafted. He was drafted in the same class as Lonzo and Ingram, or as gosh darn it, I think Brandon Ingram. But regardless, I think he's 24. Like, those guys can get a little bit better.
What, you go to Hakeem Olajuwon camp?
No.
What do you
No.
add to his game?
I just think he's not totally 100% clueless defensively the way he was, which is why he was unplayable.
He's definitely gotten better
But he also is not, when we're listing the keys to the Lakers being dangerous, Jackson Hayes is not on the first page of that. What they have to have is some human being taller than 6'8" who can catch bombs.
I just don't think that's a recipe for success.
Right, but okay.
If Luka was not there, you're right. If
Yes.
Jackson
No, of
Hayes,
course.
what? But with Luka there, drawing all that attention and throwing those
2
lobs,
years ago, I also...
and he's got the athleticism,
Yeah.
and now he has become smarter defensively.
I know that.
2 years.
I said that.
No, you were wrong about him 2 years ago.
I can't be wrong twice.
Yes.
That's the point. I was either right.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.